The novel of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck is about two migrant workers named George Milton and Lenny Small, and they travel together, go everywhere together, and they work together in the farms, different farms near the California Salinas Valley. And George, he takes care of Lenny because Lenny, he has a mental disability and he's like a kid inside, but he's like a grown man on the outside. And both George and Lenny, they work. Their both of their goals is to buy a farm and live there, so no one can tell them what to do, and so Lenny can tend rabbits there. Um, the beginning of the book sets near a pond where Lenny asks George to talk to him about the dream that they have to live in the farm someday and being happy, where Lenny gets to tend some rabbits and no one gets to fire them there or tell them what to do. And then, so basically, after they finish talking about their dream, and they go and go walk, they walk to their new job that they're going to go to. And when they get there, they try to stay out of trouble by not being friends with like some people, some like co-workers or workers, like Curly's wife, for example, because she's always flirting with them, and if Curly catches them flirting back, then he could potentially get fired. So, um, and so after that part, they start Lenny and George. They start talking about the farm that they want to get, but eventually. And Candy, there's a guy named Candy that his dog was killed because he smelled bad. Candy, he said he wanted to partner up with them so he can live there too because he's not that much useful, and he figured that they would fire him soon. And after they would fire him, no one else would really want to hire him because he only had one arm. So Candy makes a deal with George and Lenny that he pays like about $300 and George and Lenny pay the rest so Candy can stay with them or live with them there in the farm and help around. And then from there, after they make that deal, um, Curly, Lenny was still happy about the thought of living in that farm and getting to tend some rabbits since he's like a kid in the inside. Tending some rabbits is a big thing to him. So he's like smiling about that, and Curly had he was like, he had gotten mad, and he thought that Lenny was laughing at him, so Curly just starts punching Lenny, and then George tells Lenny to basically defend himself, and when Curly goes for a punch, Lenny grabs his arm and crushes it, and ends up breaking the arm. So, and after that, everyone, all like the boys, all the co-workers and workers, they all went into the city or the town. They're in town, and then not George, this one, Lenny, he's in the farm because they had given him a puppy, and then he accidentally killed it because he thought he was gonna bite him. So he accidentally killed that puppy, and Curly's wife goes into the barn and starts flirting with Lenny, and Lenny says that he likes to pet soft things like the rabbits, And then Curly's wife says that her hair is soft and lets Lenny like pet the hair. I guess I don't know how to say it, but he starts doing that too rough, and then it starts to hurt her, and she starts to yell, and he basically accidentally cracks her neck. He breaks her neck and kills her by accident. If that makes sense, he kills her, and then after that, they all find out that she's dead in the barn, and Lenny ran away into the pond. From the beginning of the book, he's hiding there in a bush because George told him that if anything bad happened or if he did anything bad, that he was to go there. So George already knew that. So all the guys, all the workers, they saw they saw her there, and of course Curly's his finding his wife dead. He's gonna be super pissed. So he says that grab, he's gonna get Lenny, he's gonna kill him and make him suffer. So George goes and meets up with Lenny and he talks about the farm and their dream, and then he shoots Lenny behind in the back of the head so he won't feel no pain. So if he shoots him because if Curly found him, he would make him suffer and he would make him feel a lot of pain. So then he just ended it without him feeling any pain. And yeah, that's the book. So my favorite character in the book is Lenny because he was a he wants to be a nice person to everyone, and he's really loving to George. And basically, what I like about him, his personality, soft, loving slash caring. And although he might have done some bad, cruel things, like killing the puppies and murdering Curly's wife, he didn't mean to do them. He, well, he did them by accident, if that makes sense. He didn't mean to do it like, by being mean. Oh yeah, that's why Lenny's my favorite character. Kid in the inside, grown up in the outside. My favorite scene of the book. Alright, my favorite scene for the book is when Curly gets angry at Lenny for smiling and starts beating him up. And this was my favorite scene because when Curly was beating up Lenny, as I said earlier, he goes for the punch. Lenny grabs his arm and crushes it and breaks it. And I believe that Curly got what he deserved. And my favorite line of the book is, hold up, I gotta find it. Oh yeah, is when Lenny and Curly's wife are in the barn talking, and she's flirting with them and says, "I think you're nuts," she says. And "No, I ain't," Lenny explained. "George says I ain't. I like to pet nice things with my fingers. Soft things." And this is my favorite line because, well, I couldn't really find another line, and because this just shows how much he trusts and loves George, because he believes George and everything he says, that he's not nuts, like Curly's wife says. And also, he says that he likes to pet nice things. So yeah, that's what he does. And how did I imagine the setting of the book? Well, I imagine the setting of the book like like a hot, very hot summer day for some reason in a farm, obviously, or a ranch. And I feel like this book is in the it took place in the past, like the 1980s, or it was around the Great Depression. I read in an article about the book that around the Great Depression time. I don't know what time that was, but the Great Depression. And yeah, overall about the book, I rate it a 6 out of 10 because in the beginning, towards the half of the book, it wasn't really interesting to me personally because there was no action. I guess it got interesting for me until Lenny broke Curly's arm, and after that, and overall, good book, but not that good of a book. Yeah. Okay, bye.